Good morning, everyone. We're going to get started in a slow way. All right. Um, so last night I was playing around with Raspberry Pi a bit. I was able to get the Raspberry Pi to do a stream test to Twitch all on its own, and it would take it like if I just captured a screen at 1080p and used the CPU encoding, it struggled to do 10 frames a second. But if I used the hardware encoding, which was a little bit more challenging to set up, it would max out at like 40% CPU usage. I think that's because of the capturing. And it could actually stream at 1080p, no problem, at 10 frames a second, which is what I'm targeting. I'm gonna try to get the device set up, but I can do some more cool Twitch stuff with it eventually. I was hoping to be able to like even do some coding on it. I don't want people to like. I would love it if people could just take a Raspberry Pi and see that like they're decent for little development boxes. Your first build might take 10 minutes, but iterating is pretty decent. So I'm working towards getting that set up. What did I forget to do today? Browser. I forgot to set up the browser. Let's give that a check. Let me resize OBS. There we go. Browser's good. Code's good. Godot, don't know yet. We'll get to Godot later. What else? I'm actually using the Raspberry Pi for the monitoring now, which is nice. And I think I can actually use it for maybe some more documentation off screen, which would be awesome. So we're just about there. Okay. All right. think I need to move my chair, actually. Okay. Okay. Kind of works. All right. One more thing, then we're good to go. Oh, and I found the other day that with my keyboard plugged into the Raspberry Pi, if I hit scroll lock, the thing shuts down, which is just not cool. I hit that on accident. Occasionally, I need to figure out how to disable that. All right, I think we're good. Let's get going. Take that down, and away we go. All right, so yesterday we had figured out that, yes, you can take one of these things, you can send it over, and then get some goodies out of it, right? Just a moment, I have to rearrange a window. There we go. Okay, now chat is set up fine too. Good. Okay. Now in this case, we actually need to come back over here and use instance. And to get that, we're going to try to pull that off of tref. It'll have it. Oh, tref has it, but does ref has it? Has it? Oh my goodness. It does. Perfect. All right, let's give that a go. Because we don't need to do that. What does that give us? That gives us an instance. That's back to kind of self, isn't it? This is going to be equal to owner.cast instance. Oh, is that only implemented for certain elements? Here, yes. All right, so it's implemented where it's thread access. What about shared? Because this is actually what we have. Shared just has that is instance sane on. And this is for rough counted ones, okay. No, we don't want that. Or unique. So we do have to do assume safe on that. Actually, can I just call set error on that? What does that deref into? Oh, it's an option. Oh. That's interesting. Oh, spawns if you. It's giving the documentation for something else. Oh, because of the semicolon there. Ref instance, good. Now, if we look at ref instance, so we could just call script on that. We do not need both the script and the owner for that, so we could just call script. No? Type annotation needed. Okay. And that is because of the cast instance. Let's remove the mutex data. I see. That actually gives us the wrapper on that instead of having it unwrapped for us. So we could use map in that case to unwrap that, or look at local cell data. Yeah, and that just has map, user data, a couple other things on it. So we might as well not call script. Just call map. All right, so there it is. interesting. What does local cell data do for map? And we can have a local cell error. How? Oh, if it fails to borrow. So if something took it, there's something else doing that on it. Let's just stamp it out and then fix it up. Why is that? Is that because this is not thread safe? Or rather, the thread is not able to get, it's not sync. Where's the first async? Or, oh wait, here it is. So at this point, we actually need to clip some stuff. I want the scene to hold. It's gonna have to end there. Basically, we need all the values out of that for username, password, address, etc. Huh. Well, that was a good exercise. Going through, getting the cast instance. I wonder if there's a better way to do that. Can make a little utility wrapper to make that easier. That and a lot of this is just a little boilerplate, right? Can we reduce that? Well, I could go back to the pocket idea. Do some of this in the pocket. Now, was cast instance, does it have overhead cost? I think it does. Try from base. turkey outside. Oh, what a pretty animal. All right, sorry. Just taking a moment to look at the wildlife. There's that turkey wandering around. Looks like a hen. Okay. Dun, dun, dun. So we could pull this stuff out of there. Toss this on some other object. Because right now we have a bunch of these on login itself. I wonder if there's some pattern where we have like a facade, right? Or so we have some other thing that we use for interacting with the scene. So maybe a login scene object or something like that, which hides some of this. So most of this, like when it's in some sort of like little UI, like, oh, they're just clicking a little button to get through menus and whatever, there isn't any sort of performance overhead that we should really be worrying about. I think in these cases, the cleaner, maintainable code is what we should go for. And I don't like the boilerplate. I would rather hide that a little bit. I think it should look a little different than that. Either case, these are TRFs, aren't they? There or up here. Oh, I'm sorry. No. The second one's a ref. This is a ref because we claimed it. So we can send it across threads. That, and I want error to be set in a nicer, prettier way. Let's create a little wrapper type for this. Let's just call it like a login scene or something. Something simple. Now login scene, we want to make sure that it's sync. TRF is in sync if T and access are them. And in this case, control. I don't think control is. Why doesn't Node show up? Node 2D? We're in preview, right? Oh, that's GD native core. I don't want core. Okay, it's not. Well, thank you. So we do have to claim it. Wonder what the typical pattern, like use case, is going to be. Should we just take it there and then use it over here? What I'm considering is having some function which does a assume save plus cast on it to return the actual element that we can then call these other functions on. I don't see another way to get access to the script from inside there. Its cast instance returns a T instance. Or was it a ref instance? Well, here we have a reference. That we can then map, etc. We could call into script on that. Returns a script wrapper, but that's the user data. So depending on how we wrap the user data, it might be okay. I mean, we're not going to have anything in our user data for this. I think login should probably just be empty. We do not need the path anymore. I'm considering moving all of these basically to the other one, set error, etc. And basically this becomes what the script is when it's attached to the scene object. And then we have something else, just dumping that in there for now, that has other elements on it, like the actions, right? The verbs. Spending a lot more time on this first script because I want to come up with something that's workable, right, over the long-term project. All right. What do I actually await in this task? It's when we connect and when we send the login. So here on 115, and then again when we try to log in. Actually, a lot can be done before spawning the task, but I can't guarantee that's always going to be the case. Small can handle not send futures. Ooh, local tasks. Oh, thank you for that. Thank you. Because it can do local, and then you can just detach those as well, right? Panics if the current thread is not inside an invocation of run. Which I don't think is the case for me, because this thread is actually created by Godot. Like scope thread spawn. I've never used that. Oh, interesting. You can multiple tasks into the current task without requiring the children to be sent. Got it. That's really nice. That is really nice. That would be really handy. I wonder if there's a way to wire that up. Because here in Godot, let's see. Um, there was a little bit of documentation on that. Godot docs. We'll just start here. Scene tree, yada yada, okay. I think there's a way to set up your own main loop. Although it's possible to write one using one's own main loop subclass instead of the scene tree. I wonder if we can actually provide Rust for this. That would be pretty neat. Let's see. Although I don't know if the main loop is actually able to control the thread. Like it feels like this is already set up. Like the thread's already started. It's already going. What else do they have for thread? Thread safe APIs, creating multiple threads, semaphores, mutexes, background loading. Yep. Okay. Break casting, semaphores. All right. Let's go look at thread first. Yeah, this is just how you start one. We know how to start threads. But I don't know how to get the engine to use and be able to inject something at the very beginning of the engine. I wonder if that's more a module. Yeah. So it would be nice to be able to basically do something on the main thread, kind of interject ourselves into that. But then it feels like we're jumping ahead a little. Or was it? Feels then we're jumping into 091 territory. And then we're like right in there. Now they talk about this a little bit. Some different exports, spawn local, etc., which would be really nice. I think, especially for what we're doing. Yield would be amazing. Be able to wait on signals. Unresolved questions, yes. Set local spawner and set spawner. I mean, they've thought about this already. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't see what you were saying. You can have multiple tasks in the current task without requiring the children to be sent. Yes, it's fine. You need a parent task for it to work. Just uses that parent's async context to run multiple tasks. Local stack tasks. I see. Just gonna scan this real quick. See if there was anything we'd want in there. So I wonder what this would actually do. Because when GD native gets initialized, I don't think we have those APIs. Yeah, with the local task, you don't need to move into the async block, which would be great. Oh, that would be nice. Okay, so here's a question. What would be going on in here to make a local spawner work? Wouldn't they have to ensure that whenever the script is called, it's called from basically called from a thread that has an async runtime on it? Same thing as in small. It sets up a thread local cell. The cell doesn't have a value on the first get. Fullness spawner from the global context. Okay. Interesting. Okay. So now we've done something I guess interesting or similar with runtime. Where were we? Up here in that set up a thread and spawn small to actually run on it, right? Scope thread local is fancy thread local. Let's see. Copy link address. Let's see if this is going to work from that machine. Oh, it does. Sets a queue and worker stuff. Okay. Now, when you call spawn, does this block? It doesn't block, does it? It just goes. But why do we have to do this on a separate thread? What? In Tesla, task one chooses the one it walks. Oh, I see. For the queue and the worker stuff, task blocking goes explicitly to the blocking thread pool. Just blocks long enough to get value from the queue and initialize the data structures. Interesting. Do we need this to be on a thread? Okay, so run does block the current thread. I see. Yeah. All right, that makes sense. I see. So looking at what we've said before, I see. So basically, we have to check to see if one already exists. I'm trying to figure out in my head, how does the interaction between, we have Godot, right? And I know you've explained this a bit there with the sets up a thread local cell doesn't have a value, then it instantiates one. Local spawn checks the thread local to see if an existing, if one already exists for this thread. If not, create pull one from the pool local, whatever. Okay, now if run blocks and running something in local via the, where was it? This here. So when you do a task local, it has to be inside of one of these, right? And how do we ensure that you're actually, oh, wait. It said that you had to be inside of one. Oh, no, it says it panics if the current thread is not inside an invocation of that. Because at some point we're actually going to block, because either we call small run here, which blocks, and then we can call some sort of async function, right? So, but we don't want this to block Godot, right? Now, you had been saying that we can basically toss some of this into the in with thread local, but wouldn't this always block? If they go inside of that run, does task local, it'll use the thread local version. We need async context for that to work, yes. Oh, interesting. We need an async context for that. Yes, so in that case, when we call run and we have all of those local tasks inside of there, each one of those tasks can be async, but the outer run is still blocking Godot. Those locals would reuse the same scheduler as the one that run took. I see. I wonder if there's a way to do this without actually blocking Godot. Because if Um, let's expand this out a little bit. Let's pretend that we have a UI thread or whatever. Let's call it a script thread, which who knows? I doubt that exists. But basically, if we take this and put that, well, almost over here, that's basically okay because the script thread is actually inside the run and everything else works, right? Which is why you want to spawn off into a thread. Yes. Okay. I wonder if there's an entry point somewhere that we don't know of that allows for this here, right? Because if that exists, and that's what they're planning on using with things like this. Yeah, I know, right? Like, just the main thread on 3OS is vastly different. The OSX one is super restrictive. GNative library, feature tags, okay, yep. Singleton libraries, GNative, okay. Extensions, which is supposed to tell Godot which Godot classes are available, okay. Plugin script. All right, let's take a look at what this is. Got hints, type-def enums. When I look at this, I try to parse it with my Rust glasses on. Register class, register tool class. All right, looks like I skipped some. Let me make sure I didn't pass any pointers up here. Okay. Create function, free function. So I think this is what we're actually calling when we register our custom classes. Godot instance method, set property functions, okay. Signal arguments, signal. Yeah. That's it for that one. What was the other one? And we could actually just look at that JSON file. Okay. Right there we have that. Oh, so many things. Yeah, this just doesn't seem likely, does it? Because what would have to happen? They'd have to pass a function pointer into basically a function that we set up, and that's unlikely. Okay. Well, that's too bad, because I was really hoping for something like that. So without that, we're basically stuck with non-locals, right? Which, if we gotta wait a while for 091 or whatever, then that's fine. And I just don't want to I want to keep looking. Yeah, there's the feature tags. I need to look at that later for the Raspberry Pi stuff. I have Godot running on a Raspberry Pi. It just doesn't load the library correctly. All right. And where was... But need to be pulled from a node, which will have to manually be put in the scene tree by the user. Okay, what do they mean here? My local pool, run until stalled. Hmm. So is there a way then that... so they did have this... I mean, they talk about using process, right? Oh, where is it? Oh, I see. So basically they saying, oh, you have a runtime, you might have some tasks in it, and this is where you should pull it, basically. Yeah. Instead of a loop blocking a thread. I see. Which means that you would be on maybe the same thread every time. Interesting. Is there a way to set that up with small? Because if we do have a, say, train, that's how JavaScript does it with V8. I get a feeling that you have a lot of experience with C++, V8, and networking stuff. Task blocking. Yeah, small just blocks the thread with run loop. I see. So, that's too bad. Was that this? Let me copy that link. Let's take a look. So small or Q. Create a waker that triggers an IO event in the local thread scheduler. Not sure what a parker is. Unparker or Q. Okay. Inside of the loop, it steals from the work ceiling. Work queue. Okay. If local is called, the task is set to a thread local task, and it keeps running that. I see. Park is just an efficient data structure for yielding parking to threads. Oh, that's cool. I see. So they do a timeout there. Order.tick. 0 to 200. How do they choose 0 to 200? That's a magic number. Huh. Well, the main feature. Okay. Then for each one of the workers, we tick them. Should scale dynamically, but he said his test showed that 200 was fine. Oh, I see. It was the highest to give him the cache. I wonder if there's a way to set that up such that it could be pulled or iterated from elsewhere. That's pretty neat. All right, let's get back to the code. I think this is likely a dead end for now. Async task is that? To spawn a future onto an executor, we first need to allocate it on the heap, keep some state alongside it. State indicates whether the future is ready for polling. All executors have some kind of queue that holds runnable tasks. Okay. Task is constructed either using spawn or spawn local. I really gotta go and read small. Just haven't set aside the time to do it. All the new async crates are pretty neat and easy to understand. Oh, nice. Async IO multitask. Oh, it's async task, put another layer. That's cool. Oh, one word. It's my water. Provides an executor. Oh, that's great. Last week. Dang. Updated 2 days ago. Single-threaded executor, task and ticker. Spawn future. Spawns a thread local future under the executor. Returns a task handle and the spawn future. Okay. Runs a single task and returns true if it was found. If it was found? I mean, found is an interesting thing. What is it trying to find? Oh, if one was found. Oh, if one was found. Thank you. Did a task run? Oh, this is cool. So we can create an executor. Set up one of those. Wow, that's cool. I'm gonna go back to local executor. That's neat. That's really cool. So you know if you need to reschedule Play Nice with us. Damn, this is good stuff. This is really nice. I mean, this sort of thing I think would work really well. Maybe we're using something that's too high. So we use something like this. Who wants to have fun? Let me make sure everything's committed. All right. It's all small, understandable building blocks. Small, that is, it's so apt, isn't it? Work in progress. This is, what was it? Multi something. Multitask. Wow. So it's not documented that well. Well, it's probably not even a lot of code, so that's a decent amount of documentation. Let's see, what's tick look like? Tick. Really? That's it? Pops them off the queue, run it, true, false, sure. Drop. To do. That's what, 700 lines. Not a lot of documentation. All right. Okay, so coming back here, what are we gonna do? We're probably let's go back to RT. Because what if, so RT is already a node. Oh, good question, good question. Async TCP stream. Async IO. Oh, perfect. Okay, so basically we're replacing small with Godot's process loop, right? He's splitting small up into smaller reusable crates. That is lovely. Okay. So essentially, RT will then, instead of building its own thread, let's try to do this all on the same thread, right? Let's use, just for fun, right? Why not? All right, we're going to try to use, I forgot the name again. Multitask and async IO. This is the part where we go cargo. What features? Multitask. No feature dash V. Nice. Okay. And let's go into legacy rest, cargo add multitask. Yes, Lilu Dallas. Fifth Element. I watch that every couple years. It's just, it's timeless. I love the opera scene. Oh my goodness. That singer actually has quite a range. She's got what, eight octaves? Okay. Well, let's give it a cargo check. I try to use what features whenever I can. You use it instead of cargo search. Oh, nice. Oh, dash S. I haven't played with that. Here, let's see. Oh, that's not fair. Foobar exists. Nice. Yeah, to look at the latest version. What's wrong one? Foreground here. We're going to go back to cargo TOML for legacy Rust. Going to drop small for now. Why do I have that? Oh, nice. The new one changes the create equals version so you can copy paste it. Nice. Copy pipe it. Hmm. All right, that's probably okay. I think that got updated this morning. Where's this? Is this the... Oh, that's the server. The server's running. Oh, git fetch gd native. I just want to make sure I have the latest. Fine. I think this morning was, yeah, just a re-export. All right. Let's go ahead and close that. Go back to 1. Give it another cargo check, because that's probably not going to have to build again. Robot Gaming, good morning. Hope you had a good stream. What were you working on today? Oh man, talking is so hard sometimes. So we're in the process of actually stripping out small and using multitask and async IO. I'm gonna raise my desk. It's sitting too long today. Now, my desk setup is a little funky, so I'm having to turn my head. Drop an act on that for me. Oh, to see how far behind you are. Oh, that's neat. Short list, yeah, include. Tell you valuable lessons about life, love, and Rust modules. Oh, that's awesome. So we're going to try to do local thread Anyway, we're going to try to use a thread local executor for multitask from multitask instead of small and run it via Godot's process function. So basically make Godot async on Godot's terms. So small's gone here. Wow. All right. I'm going to be bouncing back and forth between this and some of the documentation a bit. We have async task. I'm going to pull that up in the list because that's getting unwieldy. And in here we want multitask. Throw that chair over there. Okay, good. Create a new one of these. Creates a new single-threaded executor. Okay. Oh, it broke until you paused and paused. Oh, that's strange. Let's see. I don't have any frame drops today, which is outstanding and highly unusual. Maybe I need more of them to actually keep everything moving. Oh, and I was able to get the Raspberry Pi hardware encoding working. So I might do a stream from the Raspberry Pi 4B. Maybe for a smaller project where the Rust compiler isn't going to basically consume all CPU available on the box and cause hiccups to the stream. Oh, probably on your end. Oh, that's too bad. At my end, it kind of makes sense for where we are. I mean, I've got to basically bounce the signal off the moon, and yeah. Okay, so we're gonna create a new one of these. And what is this? So in this care, I'm gonna have to look at parking now. Right, and tick. Here's a fuller example. Runs a single task and returns true if one was found. Interesting. And then when we go to create one of those, let's go back one. Task spawns a future. Tasks are also features themselves and yield the output of the spawned future. When a task is dropped, it gets canceled and will be pulled again. All right, and you can forcefully call cancel on it. That's fine. All right. Nice. Basically, a semaphore park notifies. Park spin yields until unpark is done. I see. So it's sort of like blocking. Yes, we are changing it from small. We're actually going to use the building blocks of small. And the reason for this is because I would like to try to use um, basically a task. What is it? Basically the thread task. I want to spawn a task onto the local executor so that some of the elements inside of our other methods here in login. Let's go back to login. So, some of these things are not sent, so we can't move them across threads. So if we're able to use this within a single thread, then we don't have to worry about having so many closures and, scopes. I think that would be really neat to set up. That'd be really nice. Because a lot of this kind of GUI script, like you don't need it to be multi-threaded. And yeah, most of this, like the game engine is going to be running like full bore, doing all sorts of like fantastic shading and all that. You don't know if local executor does things concurrently. which is fine by me. It's serial and it yields in 4 weights. I think that's perfect for this. So basically, having one thread and it's time shared, right? Like, that's fine. All right, let's try to button that up. So in this case, this is actually a really neat little library. It's like learning small from the inside out. Okay, so we're basically going to need a parking pair. The ticker is going to be done inside of the process of that node. The runtime is basically going to be this thing. All right, and then runtime is going to need what? Access. Okay, it's going to have to expose this in some way. So maybe RT ::spawn or whatever. We get a hold of that, add that to the local executor and go. Okay. Starting to see it now. Oh, detach. We've seen that before, haven't we? All right. Now the parking pair, I need that as well, don't I? I know it doesn't have any features. Consider this advertising. Everybody should be using what features? Probably store the executor on the scene graph. Yes, which is what RT is. RT is actually stored on the scene graph. It's the first thing that gets into the scene graph. So if we go back to Godot, which I don't have running. Okay, that's going to go black screen for just a moment. Let's see, is that going to fix it? Hold on, it's starting up. There it goes. Okay, so here, if we look at auto load, this whole thing, let's see, lower. There, that might be a little bit easier to see now. But RT is the first thing that gets into the scene graph, followed by scene manager and then networking stuff. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to toss it into the scene graph and use process to pull it, to tick it. Oh, cargo add what features? That doesn't work. Packing, parking. What did I just add? Wait, is parking? So what is that actually? I remember you describing it as basically a semaphore. But parking, I'm parking. Also by, I don't know how to pronounce this. Was this Steven? This is like a variant of Steven, isn't it? Oh, cargo RM packing. All right, so that's basically in there. Cargo check again, just to pull that in. All right, I'm gonna go back to RT. RT is gonna need to have both of those, isn't it? It's going to need the pair from parking. We're basically going to deconstruct this example. That's not it, this one. Park and unpark, okay. because this is going to need to be set up once. So we'll do that in the constructor. Same with the executor. Because we will be on the thread already. Okay. Local executor doesn't have a ticker. So you have to replicate using the game loop. Ah. What does it have? It has spawn. It does have tick. Oh, it doesn't have a ticker. Ticker. I'm sorry, I misread that. Yes. Yes, yes. Thank you. All right, let's gut this. We get node. Let's see. I'm going to toss Parker and unparker. Park. Just call it something like that. Self park. Unpark. No. We want local, don't we? Local executor. Yep. Do we knew that? We do, don't we? And we move unpark into it. Unpark. What was it? Dot. Oh, U dot unpark. Fixture block. And that'd be perfect. I'm okay with that. Wait, let me think about that. Am I okay with that? Because it's on the local thread. Basically saying execute this now. Yeah, so if it's sending like a packet or it's signaling something or coming back in, unpark is the event and park is the block. It's paired with it. The executor will tell you when it's done via unpark, and you wait via park. Okay. See, I don't think we need to store that, do we? You gets moved. It's in there. That's fine. Park. What is the type on that? Park unit for now. It'll scream. Arlene Bakura. Good morning. How's it going? Oh, Parker, unparker. Okay. Oh, it's so complicated. Let's just use a use. Is there anything else we want out of there? Probably not. Pair? No. Parking's better that way. Okay. It's all right. Oh, that's good. How was your week, everyone? Would have a good week. All right, we're gonna give up the join handle. Async channel, but not so sure about. Hey, and thank you for the follow, Arlene Bakura. It's funny, I actually have to look at your name and focus on it to be able to parse it. It's good. All right, and then we have exit tree, in which case we would probably try to shut down that thing. Let's see, it looks like it just, when it drops, it's done. Yeah, okay, so it's got drop, which I think we looked at earlier. It's a bunch of to-dos. Yes, fine. Okay, shut down the tick. Now we're gonna get rid of this. Oh, wait, what were we doing here? Join handle. Oh, we were signaling to someone. Shut down. Oh, to the loop. That's what we were doing. We were shutting the loop down. That's right. That's gone now. In fact, so is that, because there's nothing to do on the exit tree. So why don't we just change this to process? What does Godot take for process? Guess I could have looked at the other documentation. Was it 3? 2, 3. Well, it might be underscore process. Can process, set process. Fine, we'll go to the Godot docs. Don't highlight them all. Can't read that. Calling underscore process, which is what we want to see. Ah, it takes a delta. Okay, so this float, probably like probably an F64 or 32 maybe. Oh, I have a Bond villain voice. And today we will be taking over Metropolis. I was trying too hard there. Just played around with the local executor. Yes. And do tell. Can't leave us hanging like that, Museum. And to pour some more water. It did the right thing. Oh no. Okay. Well, we got some serious foreshadowing going on here. Is that like the right thing, or like the right thing that's unfortunate and you didn't expect it? Now in this case we'll have self, owner, and delta, which will be unused at this time. Probably an F64, guessing. And just by exporting that, it'll start to be called. This Godot is cool like that. Let's print line and just say tick. tick delta in a very excited way, and then we'll have underscore delta. Yeah. All right, now back to where we were. We were on like tab 5 or 6. That's not it. Even that one. Oh, I lost one of my pinned tabs. That's unfortunate. I wonder which one that was. Oh, you were expecting that to not be correct. Let's copy that. Let's take a peek. So you have a parking pair. You created, passing in the park, the unpark. Spawn. Okay, so you have a spawn, which you call 3 times, passing in the executor. N size. What do you use N for? Oh, that's just for hello. Okay. Timer new. From seconds await. Oh, Tokyo. Oh, no. Oh, that's async IO. Async IO has timer? Oh, awesome. And then you call tick on it. Let's see. Now, you're not using the um, park, are you? In this case. No, in this case, it's same URL. Okay. So you have that from seconds in the middle. Oh, I see. Yes. It did the right thing. Oh, that's awesome. Because it put it on the queue, right? You basically did the first few. Did that one. Oh, no, no, no. Oh, I see. Oh, neat. That is cool. All right, so tick doesn't block. That's nice. That's cool. Oh, this is looking up. That's async task. Where were we before? There's tick. Oh, that's right. I wanted to look at the blocking, the parking. What was it? It was in task. Spawn, task. So our loop is basically the process function. And we don't need the parker either, do we? Basically, we just try to tick. Or basically we loop while and we return here. So I'm not spinning. I see. But I'm inside of the Godot thread. Yeah, I don't need to look. Okay. Wow. Because we could just call tick on every process, call to process, and just keep it really simple. Yeah, this is great. All right, let's get rid of that. Don't need that. What happens if we drop it? Do we have to keep it around? Now, would that actually park Godot's thread? Because we're hitching a ride on Godot's thread. All right, and on the parking pair, what happens if the other side goes away? I'm just wondering, do we have to keep that around? Oh, context. I lost the context. What's a no for? Tick returns true if it did work. Okay. Oh, I need the executive. Okay. Yeah, I think it was negated, wasn't it? Basically, if you didn't do work, then park. All right, let's try it out. Local executor. I'm gonna keep Parker around because I'm a little superstitious on that at the moment. Keep the Parker around. Okay, thank you. And now in this case, self dot executor dot tick. Oh, we could loop while doing that. Parker returns. Oh, it's a channel basically. Okay, so treat it like a channel. And in this case, we could while that or something, or just take it on every process. Go simple. That way, Godot has basically a chance, and we get simple async in here. Yeah, let Godot drive it. Okay. Because I think this process will happen. Basically, this process is bound to the frame rate, so it'll be 60 times a second or something, or 30 depending on your device. Or if the game is lagging, then this will lag behind as well. Okay, yeah, let's keep it simple, and then pub function spawn. So we'll take some sort of fn here, take something, and this returns nothing. Or should it? What does task? Let's go back to the executor. Okay, so that returns a task, but then do we have to do anything with that? Because if we call spawn, oh, then we detach, right? Spawn detach, and let it just run. Yeah, let's just detach it. How do you take an async function? Let's go back here. beautiful feature. Yeah. Take a self there, self dot executor dot spawn, fun dot detach. It's not in the scope. Standard feature. Oh, plus static. Output is unit. Okay. That needs to be static. You can return a value with that feature. But because I'm detaching, yes, and detach doesn't, well, at least in small it didn't work. It needs to be a task unit just to make it so the caller can't return the value. Yeah, push the error up, which is a neat way of doing it. That's a strange error. I think we have that, don't we? Multitask, local, did I spell that wrong? Multitask, local, it's right there. Oh, O1, yes. That's O2 now, isn't it? Yeah, O2 up there. Okay, let's also check async IO. Oh, that's async task. O1, 2. There we go. Needs to be O2. Okay, thank you. Yes. All right, we need those two up there. Yes. Well, that's looking pretty good. All right, now for, ooh, where do we start first? Net or login? Oh, I want to get to login. Let's see. Okay, let's try to run through that. Small async. That's going to come out of async IO now, isn't it? Or, okay. Oh, that was a quick little walk through net. I guess it was just re-exporting it, so that was lovely. Okay, now we're back to the login scene. Got a bunch of bunch of stuff, just kind of loitering. Login scene, yada yada. Okay, now we were down here. RT spawn. Oh, shoot. Yeah, I did that. Okay, we need to get a hold of the actual runtime there. So the way that, let's see, RT? Do we not call RT in here, in net? Yeah, here we're getting the singleton. Because basically we have to get a hold of the same sort of singleton. Singleton. And this will return what? RT. Just gonna grab that out of here. Okay, that's part of it, and this is going to be RT there. You're still amazed at how his multi-threaded runtime works? It's so obvious. Oh shoot, no, I'm doing that wrong. For net, RT. Create singleton. Oh, it is correct, okay. Shared as a default. Oh, yep, we gotta pull that in. Want to have multiple threads? Share a work stealing queue between n local executors. And they just steal work from each other. Why not just have spawn grab the singleton? It couldn't it? Good idea. Good idea. So that's how everybody's going to use it anyways. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I was drawing a blank again. I'm like looking at this thinking, is this because... so for me, I was looking at this thinking, oh my goodness, can we not access that because, you know, we're on the outside here? We just got one of these? We can't, you know, reach into the... Oh my goodness, my head went into like C++ land for a moment. I'm just going to call it script because that's what they always get called. Script spawn detach. Map is a bad name. I do too. It confuses me when I go to because map is on so many other things. Oh, type annotation needed for this. Does this not know what it is? RT? Instance. RT, unique. Spawn found on RT in the scope. Oh, my mistake. That should be script dot executor dot spawn fun. And this should be moved, shouldn't it? Get, apply. Actually, I like apply. Or tap if you're from Ruby. No, I have never done Ruby. Man. And yeah, a while back you had actually linked that. What was it? That the painting ones, where what was it? 90% of all paintings are all paint splatters for valid Ruby code. Oh, excuse me, Perl code. Perl. It was Perl code. Yeah, I keep that in my little trove of why not to use Perl. Sorry. All right, so if we come back to login, I declared module RT. Create RT. Metaprogramming in Ruby is cool, but not nearly as cool as in Rust. Okay, so now, because this is, my goodness, can we actually do that? Oh, that's right. I pulled a bunch of those things out of there. Let's put those back for a moment. And now all of this works. Oh yeah, owner path. Which I think we were going to work away from, weren't we? Yeah, it sounds like you're calling a function, right? Because in JavaScript, and some of these other languages have the same thing. Okay. I don't think we have to do the claim bit. Now this. Oh, no method named detach on there. Okay. Good. Yep. Or just borrow it now? For the ultra fast naming, STRT. Yeah, so owner needs a lifetime because it's getting moved into there. But what about self? MTRT and STRT, single-threaded and multi-threaded runtimes. I mean, it's not bad. I'm gonna lower my desk. Give me a sec. While I'm doing that, I just want to comment on these Raspberry Pis. I have been really impressed with what they're capable of. I've got one driving two 1080p monitors. It's just fantastic. And using Synergy for mouse and keyboard across it, it's really nice. This is what that map was doing. Oh, I see. Now this TREF here, it's shared. This is a managed control. Shared. I wonder what the current lifetime is for that. Oh, like inspect on iterator. Much higher level, yeah. But it's almost like a visit, you know, like a visitor pattern. Visit would be better than map. Visit mutably. All right. Now this one's a static lifetime on owner. Then we have this, which is that thing there. I'll get rid of that. I don't want that anymore. I mean, ideally, I would just want to say self.setError. That's not going to work. Why would that work? Yeah, I've actually run into that. I was returning one, and then I had a map on it. I had to unwrap it and then map it. All right, let's strip out some of this. So I want to go back to what I would like this to be. Oops. Yay, boilerplate. Good. That's what we're looking for. Thanks, Russ, for being late. I'm gonna go back a little bit. I just wanted to see that. Okay, let's get rid of login scene for a moment. I realize that owner path is still gone, but hopefully we can clean that up. All right, so here we claim it, pass this over the wall, and now these should be able to exist past the awaits. All right, let's just fix this real quick. I want it to compile first, then we'll fix that. And that was what, a node path? Was it a tref node path, or you can store a multi-executor in runtime and change spawn to local and make spawn that does plus send? Oh, I see. Does it on the thread pool? Very true. All right, that's next up. The type I thought was wrong there. No, it's fine, okay. Oh. Interesting, so it's actually trying to take ownership of this. I mean, can I borrow that there? Is that a thing? Missing lifetime specifier, okay. Oh, I remember now. Let's go back. New ref on that. Because it's a ref counter type. It's a, yeah. How many of those do we have? Good type node, yeah. It doesn't implement clone. And why wouldn't clone call new ref? I think there's a bit of ambiguity because other things actually implement clone. They wanted it to be clear as to when you were actually allocating versus incrementing a ref winner or something. I forget exactly what it was. Wait, what? Can I return value referencing a function parameter owner? Wasn't this working before? How did this change? Oh wait, that should be a new ref on the previous one. All right. Do I have to do that inside of there as well? Because map, I get typed node on owner returns a tref. Okay. That's the same as self, yeah. Oh, I see. Which is here and map. No, doesn't look like it. Oh, wait, that's an option. So self.owner. Turns an option to a tref, which we map and then flatten. Yeah, because it's possible that I wanted to rework this stuff. Self-owner asref. Now it's borrowed. Let's see. Map moves it by default. I see. Well, thank you. That same thing there. Oh, and it's unsafe. What is that? All right. Expected one argument, found two. Self.call. What is this? This is an object. Object call. Oh, standard ops function. Yeah. I see. So from A to B, it has to be consumed, but borrowed A to borrowed B doesn't consume because you don't have ownership. And that makes a ton of sense. Okay. Isn't asref new? What did they do before? They had to do like some mapping or what was it? Oh, it's not new? Okay. Oh, as dref is new. Thank you. So in this case, we're on an object, and we're supposed to be calling that function, object call, which does take 2. However, compiler's not happy with that. It doesn't agree. Option asref is basically just map t asref. I see. Huh. So has method is there. It's fine calling has method. Should just be borrowed. Method implement into Godot string. It's fine with call deferred, but not call in this case. Let's see, is this just Rust Analyzer or? Yeah, it's just Rust Analyzer. Wow. All right. Now, what could be improved here in login? I like that we don't have to worry about these things moving across threads. That is really nice. I do not like how these elements in here, like connect address. No, that one's fine. Username. How it's having to call owner. It's basically getting the path of this and having to reach all the way back inside of it again. I would much rather have this a little bit more like Godot, where you would save a reference to these elements here. So you'd have like a line edit. So instead of that, we would have username, and this would be whatever the control is, which is a line edit, or rather a ref to a line edit, probably shared, which is the default. That's also one of those. And then we have error, which is ref label, I think. All right. Now in here, instead of doing that, we basically pull those 3 off of owner. My key repeat on this keyboard is just awful. I have to adjust it on the Raspberry Pi, and I haven't had time to do that yet. Username is equal to that. That's a label, and this is error. Password and error. What am I missing? 1, 2, 3. Oh, I have one extra paren on those 3 lines. There we go. So in Godot script, you would typically do something that's more like this, where you'd just bind early, and then later you would do stuff with that. In which case, we get rid of that. All right, we do not need to get the owner. We already have that. Get type node assume safe extension method. Yes. So in this case, we already have username. It's just called text. But we can't because this is a ref. Can't actually do that. Oh, why does it do this every now and then? Rust Analyzer will just pick these things up. I don't know why. Oh. There we go. Much better. Okay. Yep, those should all be refs. Oh, found option. Ah, yes. And I would rather have these bail out early. Or just get node. Implement with the unsafe lock. Yeah, that's... So here, get node is actually the type on the node itself. Or excuse me, that's a function. So get node technically already exists. So it's possible that when you do the cast at the end, that it's not possible to cast. Here, assume safe. What's up, Raj? Welcome. How have you been? Hope you had a good stream. Yeah, and thank you for the raid. Get my node, which is safe. So for everybody that's new to the channel, we are going through and implementing a couple of... Oh, wow. We're so far down this rabbit hole. So I've been porting the beginning of my game from Godot GD script to Godot Rust. And we're in the process of swapping out small, which is a runtime for async Rust, with some of its inner working pieces so that Godot can actually run it and use it. Note it, ext. So in this case, we're using some of the internal workings of small, which is SMOL. It's a runtime for Rust. And It's weird when you say it that way. It makes it sound like Rust has a runtime, like there's garbage collection and stuff like that, which isn't true with Rust. This is just a system to make its async await function. You can swap these out in Rust. Rust does have await and async. Technically, it does have a Rust. Yes, I saw that post as well. Slightly bigger than the C runtime, which isn't very big. And Cronny Lowell, thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. All right, so we're actually working in login at the moment. How do I get these types different? Now, login in this case is this login scene. Where is it? Search files, login. Hopefully that showed up. So we're adding some scripting to this. We go to the scene. You can see that there's a form, username, a password, an error label. So that's what these represent. Because it handles stack unwinding via panics instead of some global locks. What global locks does it need? Is it with the panicking? Like some locks regarding that? All right. Oh, these need let's expect Godot on that. Cannot find login username. Good. Could not find the password and could not find error. Oh, in this case, it's a tref. Now, why did it go from ref to tref? Oh, because it was a tref when we come out of there. Let's add a lifetime. Those should live as long as this lives. It's essentially the same exact thing. Oh, it's not allowed there. Wait, what? Missing lifetime specifier expected. The other way of doing that would then be to claim them. Okay, now we have that set up. Now inside of here, username, we have to assume safe on it, which means it's unsafe. Yeah. Oh, that's right. And this was returning an option in the case that username, for whatever reason, didn't exist anymore. So if we go look at node, or where was it? Okay, we're still in GD native. I want to look at ref again. Now there's assume safe if sane. The sanity check does not guarantee that the operation is safe. What does is instance sane do? Return true if the pointer currently points to a valid object of the correct type. This thread must have exclusive access to the object during this call. I see. And are we inside of the... Yep, manually managed. I wonder if I'd want to do that. Because assume safe just assumes that it's safe to use. Let's see, if we're still going through this though. What happens? So eventually somebody will click on the login button, which then spawns this task. And as long as the scene doesn't change and the button get destroyed, then that's valid. That element would be valid. Username. So we could remove the option here. Or we could return none if it doesn't exist anymore. All right, we're gonna try going with just, let's do a little living in unsafe land for a little bit. It's unlikely. My wife and I have this thing. She's always getting on me. Not always getting on me, but she points out that I'm rather cautious, and I like to say, no, I'm just risk averse. So if we assume safe on that, get the text, toString, there. Oh, yes. What do we have to do here? Just call set text on error? Oh, I didn't assume safe on that. Yes, that's right. I need like a little macro or something that can toss those on there. Seems like a bad thing to have. You should have those couple moments when typing in unsafe and wrapping something. I really want to do this. All right, so we basically capture and claim those there. We don't have to worry about that in here. What do we need owner for at that point? To see if it's still valid, maybe? Yeah, that's valid. I don't think we're going to do that, though. Hold on, we'll come back. I'm not quite sure if we can delete that yet. Now we're to the point where, can we use self in here? Because at this point, it's more, this is so that we can use self inside of here. Trust me. That I don't know that doesn't save any any typing. I mean, maybe you could like reduce it. Like, I mean, you could probably go with something more like this. It does. It saves typing. Oh, self.error. Oh, I see. With the assume safe. Yeah, I wasn't counting the assume safe. You're right. Yeah, yeah, that's true. Approximately more than one. Yes. Now, earlier when we were talking, did you mention that it was possible to then use self in here if we didn't move it? As long as the lifetime was the same, right? But it's not owned. It's not static. So we wouldn't be able to do that because we couldn't call self.set error in here. Yeah, it needs a static feature, box feature. So I still have to basically bundle this up and toss it in there, but it's getting better. Now we can still call this dot that. Oh, if I change the signature of self. This is what you see all the time in the async functions. When you're implementing future or stream. You have to pin self to the stack / heap. I see. See, is that going to be the case with Godot calling this? Because this function is going to be called from Godot. It'd have to be the heap because of how async task stores the futures in the queue. I see. Or would I basically have to have another function that sets up for that call? Because self won't live long enough, yeah. I think these are better. Not fantastic, but they're better. This is a little wordy though. Yeah, I could absolutely have those three before. You're right. And then the only thing that we actually need owner for inside of there is for setting errors, errors that pop up. Self.username. Oh, that's not it. Was it? There we go. Did I leave the move on there? No. I remember you saying that async blocks should always have move on them for some reason. Because it simplifies the lifetimes for the things that it needs. Yeah, just grab the node from the scene graph. Move makes the borrowing obvious, I see. Removes all borrowing, which is nice. Yeah, we can put this back up. Yeah, and some of this can also get reset out there. Okay. We connect. Then we have our error bits. Node equals global get self. I was wondering about that. Because the only way to get self again is kind of this. Get returns an instance. Yeah. Because it could basically wrap this up. Because we already have a might be valid pointer. Instead of cast instance and assume safe, we could try the figure out the node path. I'm trying to avoid the node path currently because I don't want to rely on the node path. It's like, to me, it feels like two-stringing a pointer in C just to give it to something else. Yeah, I want to try to do this without the node path at the moment. Because in this case, I mean, maybe this is what pocket becomes, right? So you just toss a ref in there, and then eventually get a T-ref out. Where do we end up on the naming of the pocket stuff? Oh, we can just clean this up. Just for ref, yeah. Which is what I was hoping for. And then it could validate that it's pointing to the right kind of type. I wouldn't be able to store the type? Well, if we tossed it on pocket, we could. Oh, I can't have a global registry. Yeah. No. It's interesting though, because I think Godot has a global registry of these. I think you can get all types of the same instance. No, excuse me, all instances of the same type from Godot somehow. But how about we just toss it back in pocket, capture and release? uh, in this case, we're actually capturing the wrong thing. I don't want to do that anymore. I'd like to try this. Yeah, ref T. Oh. Go object and probably something else too, right? No? Okay. Do I need the marker then? I'm not sure about the subclass anymore. Or if it likes to move, reallocate. I don't know either. Oh, it's a good question. Okay, now if upcast, get path. We could just have this be a ref of T. Or something that can go into a ref T. Oh, and that should have been a node up here. Not node path. Rust barely does with pin. That's still pretty niche in terms of language design. Hmm. Alright, so then we have our pocket. And what were we doing down here? Let's see what that is. Okay. Do we have to do anything on that? No. Let's see. So getting that right in C++ is, let's say, difficult. Huh. Equals to delete every construction to rely on standard move and not actually moving. I don't know. That is above my pay grade currently. All right. So in this case, if we have self, it looks like all I'm doing with this is actually reducing the boilerplate for this logic here. So if we I don't want to do it that way. cast instance. That returns an option to a tref. Okay. Let's just map that. Was there a... It's a try-cast. I see, and that's an option too. Okay. Oh, but the types don't match up, do they? Tommy the IT guy, how's it going? Yes, Godot does have Rust bindings. Oh, and then as a flat map. Okay. Capture would do the clone. Because you're moving the ref into it, I see. Oh yeah, and Tommy the IT guy, Godot Rust, oops, is the place. They cover full functionality. There are some small gaps, but yes. I think, what was it? Transform is missing some functions, but that's about it. There might be some like C++ binding APIs for registering singletons that aren't implemented, but I'd say this is like 99% there. Emil Gardis. Good morning. Morning for me. I'm not sure where you are. Oh, what is? Oh, okay. Hold on. So we'll just take a ref of t. We'll take ownership of whatever that is. Now in this case, it's almost nighttime there. Oh wow. Yeah, I think there's Python bindings, C# bindings, C++ bindings, D bindings. Um, I don't know if GD script is actually a binding or not. Okay. Oh man, I'm still waking up. So when we go to release, assume safe is sane. Why is that not on there? It should have been there. GD native. Assume safe. It's here. That's on ref shared. Where's assume safe if sane? Oh, that's down here. If it's, well, it is manually managed. Oh, I see, but we have to constrain that, don't we? All right, because not all instances of that handle that. All right, so then if it's manually managed, oh, and that's funky. Okay. Comparison operators cannot be chained. Sure. Turbofish to the rescue. You can just put it on the info block. Oh, thank you. And then you can capture anything but not release. All right, so this is for this kind here. Oh, it does need to be a Godot object, but it doesn't have to be manually managed. Okay. Okay. GD script is not a binding. Okay. Info block implies all functions in it. All right, because we might have different sort of releases for like manually managed versus ref counted. And in this case, assume safe is sane. What's going on here? Oh, because we have the option and all right, now the type is wrong. Actually, do I want to release it or do I just want to call map on it? Because usually what this ends up doing. Okay, so it's basically this line here, right? Casting this instance, it's something or nothing. We return if it is nothing. Wonder if we can make this a little safer. Because in many cases, we're only using it here now. Okay, set error. Yeah, I don't know. Because it feels like we're not actually saving much. Basically, we're doing the cast instance. If that works or not, fine. We'll probably be able to use it a little bit more because this thing there will be all bundled up, so we can do it between every await just to make sure that something hasn't gone awry between those. Because in this case, we're only checking here, and this is before the first await, isn't? No, it's between the first and second awaits. And we'd probably want to check and assume it's safe, or assume it's safe, but check between each one of these just to make sure it hasn't gone away. So I could see having this bundled up would be nice, but yeah, ref instance. Okay. Expected a comma. What did I miss? One of those? We should be able to elite that. Expected to found one. Yeah, it has a lifetime. I want it to live as long as whatever this is, as the pocket. Oh, but it's really the temporary, isn't it? It's the temporary that we get back from assume safe if sane. Oh, it needs to access? There isn't a default on that? Oh, access is thread access by default. Huh. And that's because of this temporary here, isn't it? So foo of lifetime A, foo self foo, is equal to foo self. Is equal to foo with lifetime deleted equals f of A. Yes. So it's obvious it is boring, but you don't care that much, yeah. And I think the instance we're actually having is because this temporary lifetime, it's not that lifetime. And I don't think it's actually talking about, is it talking about the lifetime? So I think it's going to yell at me because these things aren't the same. Oh, it's still. Does it really want the defaulted one? That seems strange. Why would it need that? Because it should get a TRF here. Right? 2018 wants deleted lifetimes. It's not default. Oh, it's not defaulted? Oh, it's restricted. This is a type. It's not an equal sign. Ah, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, let's take those off. All right, now in this case, what is this actually giving us back? Okay, that's a TREF shared. And then we cast instance. And then depending. Yeah. So we get a TREF, cast instance, access, where access is thread access. What if we did an A on there for access? That's not going to bubble through because it actually changes, doesn't it? Yeah. Okay. I'll need a lifetime bound. Oh, and T at this point needs to be a native class. Yeah, oh, that's right. I did that backwards, didn't I? Because this isn't actually T. T is the Godot type. And we actually want to return the user type here. Which one holds the other's type info? Is that on native class? Okay, so native class has Godot base object. Isn't it FMB egg of the? This T here doesn't have the type information we need, does it? It's Godot object. And that's it. Hmm. But child has to be declared before you can use it. So child. Oh, that's cool. Okay. I'm not sure how to associate the other type. Because technically this wants a U. Oh, thread access isn't in scope? Let's see. And couldn't you figure it out from this? Oh, cast. Yeah, that needs to be of the other type. Yeah, and in this case, we didn't capture whatever U is. I see. So, coming back. Yeah, so basically when we call cast instance, it would be nice if we could, say, well, yeah, you could be on peak, and we could pass that in and say, hey, I want to peek and see if you've got something of this kind, which is fine. I was just hoping to be able to capture that information along the way. I don't know if we can because we end up passing. What do we end up passing in there? Maybe we could pass in self and owner. Self in order to capture the type when we create it. But I don't think owner will give us that information. No, it's basically specified in this. Okay. Yeah, because of how Godot works, um, yeah, when we're in here, basically that type information has been split apart. So in this case, we have self, right? And then we also have tref, which is our control that we're attached to. And essentially, we want to be able to use that control, but our functions are over here, not over there. So in some of these cases, I'd be fine just saying, give me the safe version of this that I can call text and toString on. Maybe I'm looking at this in too focused of a way. Holy cow. Did you know that the playground links the error codes to the docs for them? Oh, I didn't know that. That's cool. All right, I want to comment this out. Oh, that's the wrong file. We're going to revisit this. I've got to get to coffee. It's coffee time. I want to continue on that. See if there's something that could make this a little more ergonomic. I mean, it's nice to kind of have those things already pulled out and whatnot. Error not issue flow. You can't use lifetimes with keyword names. All right, that's a bogus error. It doesn't actually exist. Ah, yes, and that check is gone. Could not send, blah. Oh, you can't use pound and lifetimes either. Thank you. I was reading the chat. I wasn't looking. Expect Godot. Yeah, something like that. All right, now we're gonna test this out. Because I gotta get going. So close, so close. Gotta run here. Okay, let me check the UI. Looks good. Log in. Check here. Okay, we're good. Oh, if this is user-facing errors, it better print error and display, and yeah, it's gonna just dump it to the console and bail. It just panics. There's the. did I start Godot today? Alright, something died. I gotta quit Godot. Start Godot here. That way we can actually see the messages. This is amazing, by the way. Oh, thank you. It's good to have you here. Oh, it doesn't have a library for the current platform. What? Lies. That was like really anticlimactic. It's right there. Right there. Oh, good, good. Is it plugged in? Question. Thank you. Yep, and it looks like it's been updated recently as well. Yeah, what does Godot think it has? Entry. Copy. It's the same thing, same exact thing. All right, let's try running it again. This time it's okay. It just didn't find it or something. I don't even think I can run stuff in 32-bit mode here again. Oh, we got errors. Node not found. Username. Perfect. Cannot find node username. So that's part of what expect Godot does. I don't know, we must have tickled something, and Godot finally loaded the library. So why is it that I couldn't find this? Scene. Login. This is actually that script. Yeah, login GDNS. Username, password, error. All as direct children of this. You like this stream because I'm not yelling. Hey, you're welcome. Crystal Castles, welcome. Could not find login username. Spelling error, capitalization. Is the type correct? Oh, it's too early. It is too early. That has to be done in ready. Because this is the constructor. We'll export ready. Oh, get that in the middle of the screen. Is it underscore ready? I believe it is. Self. TRF of control returns nothing. Is it unsafe? I think it might be unsafe. Yeah, it's unsafe. I don't know why ready is unsafe. Or maybe that was just previously how it was. It probably doesn't have to be unsafe anymore. All right. Then we can just replace username on that. Password. And error. Yeah, this is NeoVim. Struct login. Login state. Oh, yes, yes. Save bytes too. All right. We'll optimize that in a little bit. Yeah, this is NeoVim. I also have my Vim configs on GitHub if you want. And it's usually close to being up to date. Yeah, it sure they're both some without determining it at runtime. It's a great way of doing it. Now we're back here, where password shouldn't ever be nothing, because it should have panicked and killed it all. All right, just for the sake of getting to coffee, I'm going to unwrap some of this. All right, go to build. All right, now to, whoa, look at that, we actually got tick deltas going. I didn't pay attention long enough to see that. That's in the that's in the runtime thing that we set up. Maybe you can just do let long as equals name as ref. Oh yeah. So tick delta, if you go back one, what is it? RT, we're in RT. Okay, so if you're, and hello, yes, welcome. What am I working on? I am working on a multiplayer game. Yeah, I'm working on getting to coffee. And this multiplayer game, it has a client written in Godot, but we're using Rust as a scripting language for it, which is fine because it's not really a scripting language, is it? But you can compile a DLL and load it into Godot to add behavior to your objects. And then um, what we've been doing today was trying to get it so that we could have a kind of a thread local executor, if I'm saying that correctly, to make it a little bit easier to use async and await inside of Godot. Now coming down to the tick, here we are registering a process function on this RT node, which is a singleton in Godot, and it ends up getting this function called on every single frame, which is great because then we just call executor.tick and it goes through and processes those async elements. It looks like it'll only do one per tick. Yeah, it's fairly constant. I know you can basically do it in two ways. You can do it by frame or something else, but it's more or less constant. All right, and what is this? Oh, this one's the result. Ah, okay, we'll come back to that. I'll fix that later. Okay, so that built. We're going to load this again. Hopefully get past and get into the login. Login. Oh, I want to see. There's a client. What is this? This is not it. Ah, here's the server. Server's still running from days ago. Oh, oh, look at that. A login press, task spawned, sending login sent. So the async runtime is working here. Oh, it showed up. It took a while, actually. I wonder if that spam is really slowing it down. If it's just slow. Does it just take that many polls to make it happen? Yeah, it was very constant at 60. And if I do stuff in it, it'll vary sometimes. Just like moving my mouse around over Godot causes it to vary. Am I locking standard out? No. Well, I mean standard out just by writing to it. I think it has a lock in there, doesn't it? Oh, standard error we're locking. Thank you. All right, let's go back, clean out the tick delta here. I'm a little surprised in login. We're going to figure out how long this actually takes. Let timer is equal to instance standard time. Now, login sent. Elapsed on that. Okay. Let's go through the OS, yeah. Login. Okay, where are we? Okay, scene loaded. Got rid of that little timer spew. Coffee time when? Like an hour ago. Oh, login sent in 39 milliseconds. Oh, that's much better than before. Yeah, last time I think that printfs were slowing it down a little. One more coffee maybe? Oh, well, I gotta get going. Oh yeah, it is in debug mode, so that's going to be slower. But dang, thank you for the little adventure through replacing small museum. That was a lot of fun. That was sweet. Yeah, the server and client are both that. Oh, and there's the message. Came in. Username and password. Shh, don't tell anyone. All right, I gotta get running. Let's see if anybody's raiding. Oh, we're gonna raid Rimo. All right, y'all. Everybody probably knows Raimu. Raimu's been rebuilding parts of his game server in Rust, which is awesome. Yeah, it's not going to be as fast as a dedicated Tokyo, but it is so nice. It's so nice to have it ergonomic here. And it works in the main thread, yes. It is just amazing. I'm going to have to pull this apart and share it with the other GD native devs. Because maybe 091 is, like all the async stuff, is really just extensions, like Godot async or something. This comes with a couple of goodies. All right. We're going to raid Raimu. So until next time, y'all. Bye-bye.